Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory. Yes. Sorry about the pause there. Clicked into the wrong application. But yes, we're back on Satisfactory, ready for another Monday. Ready for another week. Unfortunately, the end of Monday is about to happen here very, very soon. It is very, very late into the night. Um, and whatnot, which we will talk about in a second. But we're back on our modded playthrough, and if you'd like to know what those mods are, the mods list is down in the description section of the video, along with a link to Satisfactory Mod Manager, so you can download and install mods for yourself, yes. So, now that that's out of the way, we're probably not going to get a whole lot done today, because there is a few things I want to show off that I got done over the weekend. This is partially why, I should say. Partially why there wasn't a what do you call it? I'm gonna turn this up slightly. I've been noticing that oh, you can't while you're recording. Yeah, whatever. Screw you too then. Anyway, that's not direct to you guys. That's my recording software. I'm saying screw you to that. But yeah, so yeah, one of the things, one of the main reasons there wasn't a Saturday episode is because I spent a lot of my time on here. Um, Trying to get some of the stuff done um, so it doesn't have to end up in the episodes and whatnot, um, and things like that. You guys pretty much understand, I'm sure. You don't want to see it. It's too boring for recording, to be honest. It is a very long and arduous process, but I've been doing a lot of stuff on here. I spent um, most of the day Saturday doing this type of thing, um, and whatnot. But there's another thing that I did want to talk about as well. Oh, the other reason is the the friend that we were going to start doing a long drive series, the long drive multiplayer series, which is why it's got its own um, what do you call it? I won't be able to work and build, right? Or should I? No, I want to show stuff off first, but go ahead and drive a little bit, or walk a little bit up and down the street here. But yeah, that friend of mine, we were going to do that, but then yeah, since he has terrible internet and it's basically like mobile. It's almost like or it's what do you call it? It's the phone service based. It's basically like that. So he has where he lives. He has a lot of trouble getting decent amount of internet. And it's very patchy and very spotty, and it's very all over the place. So that's why there was not an episode over the weekend, and I didn't have anything else planned for the weekend other than that. I kind of put my eggs in one basket there, which was my mistake. So that's why Saturday didn't get episode. But I decided to put that energy into um, working on here and whatnot over Saturday. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is you guys probably have noticed it. I know that I definitely haven't done a good job hiding it at all. Um, was kind of my change in demeanor last week at the end of the week there, or about middle of the week, I would say, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. I started to become more kind of drained, I guess you could say, and that is the absolute truth right there. And I'm going to try to be upfront about this a little bit more. I don't like to go into my projects a whole lot, but yeah, this one particular project, as you guys know, I've touched on it before, was that car, and that just drained me for the entire week. I mean, we worked on it, and worked on it, and it was just fighting every single step of the way. Just about every single bolt or nut was just, you know, an absolute just nightmare on that car. But it finally got done. Um, it finally got done before the end of the week. I was just physically and mentally drained from that. And then came this new project. I rolled myself into the pickup project that I've been working on for 6 months. And the reason it has taken so long is just funds. Funds have been a real issue lately, and trying to get funds allocated for that project to get it finished. And we finally got the engine in that pickup truck. I know I'm walking around a lot, but I'm just kind of giving you guys a little bit of a visual thing to kind of watch if you are watching, and not just listening to me, which I'm fine with. I'm totally fine with people putting the video on in the background while they do other things. I'm totally fine with that. Whatever suits your fancy. If you're giving me views either way, your eyeballs don't have to be glued to the screen in order for me to get in order for me to get those views. So no problems there. I've had a few people tell me that they've been that's how they watch my videos, because it's more long form content. They basically they turn it on in the background while they do other stuff, which, like I said, I'm 100% fine with. That is all cool with me. Whatever you like to do, because I do that to other YouTubers, even big name YouTubers. There's some YouTubers that do long form content all the time, like I do. I'm not comparing myself to them, by the way, not at all. I'm not even anywhere close to their league. I'm like, sub tiny league YouTube. I don't know what you would call it, but I'm just going off on one of my rants here. While we kind of just walk around, because I'm going to address some other stuff real quickly, but. Before we get started on today's project, and whatnot, and that'll kind of roll into some other stuff as well. But yeah, it's just rolled into the next project, and I'm still physically and emotionally drained. I was pretty much like that all weekend, and rolling into this week too. Like today, I was supposed to record this episode a lot earlier today, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it, because I was kind of just being a potato all day today. A vegetable, I guess you could say. I was just being a vegetable, vegging out, or whatever you call it. It's rest that I desperately need, and I need more of it. It's really bad. So yeah, that's why I've been physically and emotionally drained and distracted. So now you guys know, I just that project killed me, and this next project I'm rolling into it. We got the engine in the vehicle, and it wasn't too bad, but it just still draining to trying to get the engine into a vehicle. Then the next thing we got to do is get the transmission in, get the transfercation, both drive axles, and then hooking up electrical and start routing pipes and wires, and it's just gonna be. And I got to get this project done, because there's another good friend of mine that I used to play Satisfactory with, and I used to do Wednesday episodes with him as well, until he called off that, and whatnot. Not by any nefarious means or anything. He needed time to himself, and he needs time to himself. He's got a lot of emotional things. I'm sure a lot of physical and emotional things going on in his life that he needs time to himself, and I'm not going to force him to do episodes with me or anything like that, because right now this is just a hobby, for one. And for two, this isn't popular enough that, if he's not on here, I'm going to drop, subscribers like flies and stuff like that, and whatnot. And things just kind of been a real shit show this year, actually. In my opinion, not gone as well as I would hoped. No fault of anybody else's but my own. So yeah, and that's what's been going on, and I don't know how long this is going to carry on, about being physically and emotionally drained and stuff like that. But I'm going to still try to keep up. So if most of the time, if I miss episodes and stuff like that, you'll usually find out why in the communities tab, and I don't want to put a whole bunch of community tab posts saying the same thing, so I'm addressing it here, right on the video, and whatnot, and I don't want to skip past it or anything. So, but yeah, so now you guys kind of know why, if you've been watching me for a while, or if you're new or whatever, why things the way they are. And I also got addressed over the weekend to um, to get a new mic. Uh, uh, and they will watch if I get a new mic. Well, see, the thing is it's not me refusing to get a new mic. If I could afford to get a new mic, I would have done it a long time ago. I know I sound terrible um, on YouTube and stuff like that, and it's not nearly as bad in its raw form, but when it gets compressed with YouTube and Rumble through their systems, I absolutely sound terrible. I know that's how it goes. And especially if you're not working with good audio quality to begin with, or good video quality to begin with, it's going to suck even more when it gets compressed down and gets processed through those systems. 1080p is not true 1080p. Like my 1080p and what you guys see right now is two completely different, or not completely different, but definitely a lot lower in quality. There's a lot more pixelation with 1080p. And that's all I can record in. That's all my hardware is capable of doing, and my software as well. Really, uh, I don't have the hardware and stuff like that. And yeah, as far as the mic goes, definitely, if I had the funds to do it, I would definitely have done it already. Because I want to put as much as I can, not only mentally and physically, but also money wise. I definitely want to put it back into this, because I don't want this YouTube thing to be just a hobby. I want it to be much more than that, because I definitely enjoy doing the videos. It's just when you're emotionally and physically drained from other stuff, this tends to just it tends to lack a little bit in my quality. And I know my quality is not the greatest ever as well, um, and stuff like that. I am fully aware of that. I am not one of those people that thinks they're hugely great and whatnot, and the quality is actually really terrible, and I refuse to acknowledge it. No, I fully acknowledge that my video and audio and stuff that I put out there on YouTube is not the best, and I'm still learning too. So hopefully you can give me a little leeway in that department. I am still learning the ropes and stuff like that on YouTube, and YouTube, doing videos and stuff like this, like gaming channels and whatnot, unless you've had experience with it prior to you doing it, it's just like learning an instrument. It takes years to master this type of stuff, and you see like all the big name YouTubers, the big ones, the ones that didn't immediately go viral on social media or whatever. They've been on here for years, and they've had years to learn all this stuff. Years and years and years. There's some big YouTubers that are, in the millions of followers that, have been on YouTube uh, for not just a couple of years. They've been on YouTube for, 5, 6 years, whatever. They've been on YouTube almost since the very beginning, since the early days, and whatnot. And because of that experience, that's why they're so big name, that type of stuff. And that's what I'm striving to be as well. But I definitely want to keep it community based as much as I can, and obviously as time goes on, that's going to get better and better, hopefully. Um, and like I said in the comment, and by the way, when I talk about comments and stuff that I get, it's not to call out somebody badly; it's to bring attention to that. And sometimes I'm not able to convey meaning and feeling, or I'm not able to convey what everything I truly want to say within that comment. I have to what do you call it? I basically have to say it in verbal form in order to try and get the meaning across. And sometimes that doesn't even work either, because my brain doesn't work a lot of the time while I'm talking about stuff. But anyway, and then the sad music plays. Come on, game. Don't do that to me. We're changing that. Hold on. Yeah, switch that. Yeah, go back to that one. They need to add more music to this game, by the way. More. I'm loving the free music that I'm allowed to play in the background because it's not just me talking. There's at least a little bit something extra there and whatnot. But yeah. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on. And obviously leave a comment if you're want me to explain more, and definitely give me the benefit of the doubt. Even if something sounds bad or sounds like I would say it angrily, it's not the case. I'm generally not an angry guy. Not unless I'm being cheated in a video game, like if the game is solely against me. I might get a little angry at that, but that's about it. But anyway, yeah, like I said, we're going to go ahead and move on and finally get to the actual game. I know it's been 15 minutes of me just rambling and rambling on about this whole thing, but I had to get it addressed before the week starts out. And like I said, if there, is a comment to be addressed, I'm going to address it in verbal form so that you can, get my full meaning and my full feelings on it and whatnot. My full feels. But anyway, like I said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the stuff that I had done over the weekend. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that just real quick. So, you've probably been seeing it in like the edges of the screen. I've been trying not to give away too much. But yeah, you know how we had to do, we were working on rods and stuff like that. We're going to go ahead and go up here because this is the best way to see it. But I went ahead and finished the rods per minute that we needed, which was, I actually do have my paper here. We needed 1,050 rods per minute, which was 70 machines. I had room for 80 machines, so I went ahead and did 80. And there they all are. 10 machines per floor, 8 floors in total. Can't go any taller. And the reason I can't go any taller than that is because the flying manta ray actually partially clips through the corner here and whatnot. So unfortunately, I mean, what I just thought about it. You know what I could do? We could cut out 5 of these machines and then put them on the next floor, combine it, and then just do 5 machines per floor from there on. That could work, give an interesting look to the building. So it kind of has like almost like a staggered floor style. I don't know. But yeah, I went ahead and got that done as well. This took me many hours. This is why I left it out of any recordings and just done it over the weekend. I just sat down and just pushed myself to get this done. Which took, I had to completely redo the inputs and outputs. We're going to go take a look at that. I have not yet put in any stairs or ramps or ladders or anything like that to get up and down the floors. So we'll just look at the first floor here. So this is how the inputs come in. So the inputs come in on these 3 lines here. And this one is taking this one right here. So this one, it comes through the wall to a splitter, which this splitter then splits between 3 different floors, because 30 machines, it's actually 32 machines the 480 belt can handle as far as input goes. So that's why I combined it. Had one belt do each of these belts, I believe, do 480. The thing splits between 3 different floors. Like I said, it's 32 machines, but I just went with the even 30, so I wasn't splitting between machines and floors and just making it all kind of crazy. So kind of took the short side on that and split it. So this one splits to that floor, it splits to the floor above it, and it splits to the floor below it. So that's how the ingots come in. And then all the iron rods, which are here, go upstairs to the middle floor. Actually, go ahead and get just architecture. That's what I need. So yeah, and don't worry, some of this stuff will be input in videos, just not all of it. So yeah, like I said, splits to the floor above and below, and it merges from the floor below, the floor above, the floor above, as I just said. The floor above, it comes down here, and then the floor below comes up, and it all merges, and then it goes outside. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how the other floor is getting served here. So I decided to do an outside version of moving floors up, and I put the floor holes, I actually put foundations down, lined up with the floors themselves, and then put floor holes in, and then just deleted the foundations. And the floor hole is actually partially embedded into the wall, so it looks like it's holding the entire lift all together. And that allows me to extend the lift all the way up the wall without having to go lift to lift. I'm sorry about that. Move my mic a little bit further away from my face here. Yeah, you can see the manta ray, it kind of clips into that floor a little bit, so that's why I didn't go any higher for now. Plus, that's about all I can handle anyway. There we go, like suggested. So yeah, it all goes up to the next floor. So there's the next belt line there, which then splits between this floor, and this floor. And then the next one goes up. Now, obviously, I couldn't put any more floors in, so this one just splits between this floor and this floor. So, and then they all come out onto this. I did the thing. I finally got this done. I said I was going to do it, and I just never did it. So you remember that there was these frame floors all the way along this. I finally went ahead and removed them just because the reason they were removed is because adding or removing belts and getting belts in place onto the main belt line and lining everything up was just such a pain in the butt with those in place. Now, they do exist here, but only because, as you see, actually might need to put in another one, like that. And I need to remove these. Anyway, and drag this across. Should be able to. Okay, here's how we'll do this. I didn't realize, I haven't looked at this from the bottom. Oh, whoops. It's because it's on. There we go. Now we're on soup mode. Yeah, we'll just pull that across. So that only exists because of the merger kind of pylon we got going on, where the belts go through the mergers into other belts. It's a mess up there. I might end up reworking that at some point. But yeah, all of these got removed from this one and the one on the other side of the city. The one that's where all the plastic and rubber we had put in those as well down there. Those all got removed. So everything got removed. There's been a lot of concrete going around, by the way, as well. So it's been a mess. But yeah, if we go out here, it's going to be hard to see. But if we go out here, there is the screws. So the screws we're doing 4,000 screws per minute. That's a little bit over. It's about 400 screws per minute extra than what we need. So we actually needed 3,600 screws per minute. But I just added that extra floor just to even it out to 10 floors. So we've got 10 whole floors, 10 machines per floor at 4,000 screws per minute. So each floor does 400 per minute, 400 screws per minute on each machine. Or each floor does 400 because they do 40 per minute per machine. So you get 10 machines per floor, that gives you the 400. And then you got 10 floors, that gives you the 4,000. And they're all split as well. So now each one of these belts, I didn't want too many belts going up the wall because I didn't have much room for it, for rods. So we've got 3 belts. There's actually 3 belts here. It's just the 2 are the only ones that show going all the way up like that. Yeah, the 3rd belt just goes straight in. So So basically, these ones actually split. Each one of these belts splits 4 floors because it can handle 40 machines. I believe that's the exact number as well. Um, so we've got this. The very tallest belt only has to deal with 2 floors. So we've got this belt right here that goes through the wall handles this floor, this floor, this floor, and this floor. And then that one handles that floor, that floor, that floor, and that floor. And then the top one handles the top 2 floors. So then we've got everything's been hooked up to screws. Everything has got the amount of screws it needs. So we're done with screws entirely for right now, unless we add more and more. But I haven't built up the other factories yet, the ones that need the screws. But when we do build those up to where they need to be, they will have the screws they need. Right now, it's way over production. But so yeah, the one screw line comes out, goes up that way, all the way down, and pops out for the. Um, it goes that way. I actually redid this a little bit from what my buddy did because I needed to put in splitters here for some of the product that he was needing to be pulled, and we already agreed upon this, so we were going to need splitters on the main bus line eventually anyway. So I went ahead and kind of redone this input a little bit. I left the rest alone. I did not mess with anything else in his factory, so hopefully he's not too angry with it. I just redid the input side. So we've got the screws coming in on this line, just like he had it already. I just kind of cleaned it up a little bit. And I forgot to remove those conveyor poles there, because there was a foundation there where I was putting conveyor poles. And then I redid my beam line, or my pipeline for my steel piping, which is there, in order to match his inputs here. Like I said, I just cleaned it up just a little bit. And then we've got the frame belts. So the frames were coming off of the end of the line here and going straight over here. But I needed to put a splitter on that. So I went ahead and redone that a little bit, put a splitter right there, which is kind of into that other belt, but whatever. It works. And it doesn't look too bad either. And then that goes into that. So yeah. So everything has been kind of redone. I didn't finish cleaning everything up, but so that has been redone. Now you're probably wondering, well, where are all these screw lines going? We'll show you where those go in a minute. So right in here, there's 2 more screw lines. These ones are going to be for our computers, for our 4 manufacturers that are going to be doing computers. So these 2 screw lines actually go below the floor, these 2, and they go all the way to our computer factory, which is way over there. And all of these lines, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of screws. So you're probably wondering why do I have all that? Where is it all going? This was a real mess. I have to go over here to show you, I think. So somewhere over here. So this, if you remember, this factory right here was the one doing the rotors. Well, when you get a machine doing rotors, you're going to notice 400 or 100 screws per minute. 4 machines per floor is going to be 400 screws per minute. Now each one of our belts does 480, but we needed 17 machines doing rotors. Now why did we need 17 machines doing rotors? Because of our motor factory over here. Our motor factory needs a lot of rotors. If you actually look at that, it needs a lot of rotors per minute on each machine. It needs 10 rotors per minute in order to make that 100% effective. As you can see, I've already got the tallness of the building. I actually got a new way that I'm building these as well, which is much easier. And then you look at this as 4 per minute. So in order to make one of those machines efficient, 100% efficient, you need 10, and this does 4. So 4, 8, 12, we can do 16 per floor. We can do 16 per floor. 16 rotors per minute per floor. So we need a lot. 10 times 10, we needed 100. Was it 10? I'm pretty sure it was 10. It was 10 machines doing motors. And so basically we need 100. We need 100 rotors per minute in order for. Oh no, 6. Sorry, 60. We needed 60, not 100. We needed 60 rotors per minute, and if we take that 60 and we divide it by 4, you need 15 machines. Okay, I might have overdone a little bit, but I've got all the materials for it, so it's fine. I've also got the rod machine that comes over here as well. Or the rod belt as well that comes over and does these rotors. So we needed 15. I said we needed 17, so I went to 20. So we'll be overproducing rotors by quite. Oh no! We needed rotors over here. Never mind. So we needed 2 more machines in order to do this one for 100%. Now, yes, we don't need that for the game anymore. We don't need smart plating. We're done with smart plating pretty much completely, as far as I know. But just in order to make sure everything's 100% efficient, each factory is, if it does need to be, it will be 100% efficient. So that is why there and whatnot. So that's why we needed 17 machines. So I just upped it to 20, and this is how the screws are coming in. So the screws go underground, and they come out here at this floor, and they just go straight up the building. I need to remove this. Forgot to remove that. It's fine. But yeah, they just go straight up the building, and they just directly straight input. So there's the rods there. There's the screws. So I just decided, well, they do 480. 480 is the max on the belt, and he needs 400 screws per floor. Why don't I just do 5 belts of screws? And since they need 400 per floor, and over at the screw factory, I do 400 a minute per floor, 1 belt per floor, perfect. We'll just keep that number and we'll just drag it all the way over here, which is what has happened. And I got all the inputs put where I wanted. I did not get the outputs put down yet, but I did get the inputs put the way I wanted, and everything's hooking up. So basically, all we got to do is carbon copy all this between each floor once we get the outputs figured out as well. So and whatnot. So 1 belt for the rotors per factory is all we're going to need. We'll send a belt of rotors, which is kind of already hooked up. We're just going to combine everything because we can do 480 rotors per minute on 1 belt. So, and we don't need anywhere near that, you know. We need 60. I might just do 1 output belt and then just split it, which is what I think I had already done. Like how are the rotors coming into play here? Because we got our motors. Did I ever get the rotors hooked up for this? Oh, I do. Okay, how is that? Oh, interesting. I didn't know I did that. I shouldn't have done that. I should have done that a little bit better. I should have just put the splitter in here on that floor, and then just ran the belt down this one instead, and then I crossed. Oh, I split the rotors in here. I split it with this factory here. This factory is not going to get any bigger, because it doesn't need to be, as far as I know. And I'll leave that door open in case I ever do need to expand it. I was just looking at those lifts just to make sure they're Mark IVs. But yeah, everything seems to be fine on this end. So all I got to do is just input from there and whatnot. So the other thing that we've got to do is we got to up our plates, our iron plates per minute. We've got to up our frames per minute, and we've got to up our reinforced plates per minute. Now all of that has been accounted for as far as screws and rods. Is it? Screws and rods. Yeah, everything has been accounted for the upgrade, I'm pretty sure, and whatnot. But yeah, I figured since I've already got the rotor kind of figured out, we can kind of just do that today. We can get our rotors up per minute. All we got to do is basically just figure out the outputs, which will be pretty damn easy. Get that all set up for this bottom floor here. Get the mergers and whatnot, and then just work from there. Now, what I was thinking of doing was, I've kind of been messing around with the electricity a little bit, where our inputs are for our machines. Instead of having it here, I want to have it in the middle of the first floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so this is why this building is so tall. Even though there's only 5 floors, it's 4 meters, so that's 16 meters, and then we have a 1 meter, and then 16 meters, and then a 1 meter, and all the way up. So that's kind of how I've been splitting my floors, because I want to do, eventually, a lot of these factories are going to have like windows and such, and I want to have a splitting off point. Now that brings me to my next thing that I did. That brings me to my next thing that I did over the weekend, as well, is I revamped a little bit, as you can clearly see from here. You kind of see a little bit poking out there. I've revamped the rubber and plastic factories. They're not done yet. The buildings themselves are not done yet, but I did get them to the material I wanted, and got the roofs done and painted them to what I wanted. So this is how they're going to be. So obviously you can tell that is a rubber factory because of the black wall, and we'll have to walk from here, unfortunately. I guess I could have drove up that way, but whatever. Because of the wall and because of the band. So there's two, because of the ceiling demanded it, or the roofing demanded it, but there's 2 1 meters on top of each other right there that allows me to do that band of yellow. Because if you look at if you actually look at the icon, this is just for those who don't know. See, they're black, shiny black. That's why I went with the metal paneling rather than the concrete. With the yellow band holding the rolls together. So I kind of went with that. Now these factories are just carbon copies of each other, just painted differently. So be aware of that. But yeah, so these are just carbon copies of each other. Other than just the color, they're not carbon copies, but they're copies of each other design-wise. And like I said, I did get the roofs done. And as you'll see over here, the rubber factories, we've got the plastic factories. All the roofing has been done. There's a few missing walls here and there, but I wasn't too worried about it. And I can't go any taller with these because of that fella. He does fly away. He does fly over this area quite a lot. And if I did a second floor, he'd be flying through it. So that's kind of why I expanded this the way that I have, and whatnot. So. And there's the autosave. Okay. It's getting longer and longer because I'm adding more and more machines, unfortunately. These have a color bug to them. These wall hole ones. These are from the normal game, but they have a color bug to them. So they're just like the doors. When you paint them, they don't paint, even though they said they've been painted. They won't paint that color until you play something like it near it. So. But anyway, At any rate, I love this circle that I've done, but this is atrocious. One day we'll figure that out. Maybe one day. But yeah, the plastic and rubber factories are done for the most part. I'm still going to do a little bit of its design work as well. But yeah, if we go to plastic, there we go. Don't worry about these. These are mods. But yeah, if we do, if we look at the plastic icon, it is blue with black bands. So that's why I did that. And also, doing the metal building allows you to paint much nicer. So everything just looks nicer as far as the materials go. And these foundations are not paintable, which is fine. These foundations are paintable, but the color usually looks washed out. And that could be good for certain factories, but not all. These are not paintable, as far as I know. Oh no, these are paintable. These are the ones that are not paintable. Okay, and these are not. Are these paintable? I don't know. Oh yeah, no, they are not. Oh wait, hold on. Let's actually build one instead of looking at it. We just go ahead and do this. I actually never tried to paint the coated concrete because I don't usually use it. Okay, that's purple. That was just the first thing. No, they are not paintable. Or are they? No, wait, they don't. The color doesn't transfer. Oh, they are paintable. Oh, okay. I'll look at that in future for coated planks. Yeah, we'll look at that in the future as well. So, yeah, I was just thinking about my inventory that whole time. I was just like, is my inventory got everything I'm gonna need for today? Probably. A lot of material's been thrown around for a lot of this. These ones are very, very expensive, these builds, because they take the plating as well. Oh, one more thing I had to change over here. So, I was having trouble with the heavy oil because the heavy oil wasn't getting to the. It was getting to the top, but it was having trouble doing it. And these are still kind of iffy on that aspect. As you see, the head lifts are still maxing out, and then the pump goes into standby mode for a little bit. So I tried adding pumps about halfway up, which they should be able to. These pumps should be able to easily push it up. I added pumps all the way in between. Go over here. So yeah, then I got these little beams that carry the electricity up to all the different pumps, all the way up there. So we got pumps on every single pipe except for the ends. And I put these valves here to keep it from trying to push back up against itself into there. So these strictly just push down and whatnot. So I don't know. I tried to alleviate the problem. I think I did a little bit because these pumps are running a lot more than they used to. But they're still not in the greatest shape. I'll fix that eventually at some point. Because you know how this place goes. Also, we're out of plastic and rubber. Why are we out of plastic and rubber? Is it because we're full? We might be getting full. Those pumps definitely, putting the pumps higher up, or not moving them higher, but adding more, definitely has filled these tanks at the top. So those tanks weren't really getting full, but now they are. So they're pretty damn full. So I'm thinking that's probably what's going on. It's just these factories are just, yeah, they're just full of heavy oil residue, which is fine for right now. I need to probably drain them somehow. Which the only way to sink fluids is to take them and put them strictly into or put them into a packaging. So you package the fluids into tanks, and then you sink the tanks, the little 5-gallon jugs or whatever, little 5-gallon military barrel or military storage things. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Everything's full of fuel down here. Yeah, so we're not burning the fuel like we should. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up this process a little bit. We might make our way over to the fuel station and turn the rest of the pumps on, because as we know with the fuel generators, they're going to burn that fuel even if you're not using the power. It's just like a real generator, where it's going to burn fuel no matter what. It just basically the motors they're not generating any electricity, but they're still running even if you're not using the power. That happen in a normal generator. They probably burn less fuel in a fuel gen, like an actual fuel generators probably burn less fuel. It's not if you're using power, it'd probably burn more, but burn less when it's idle. And I think these run similar to that, the fuel generators in this game, that they will, these ones still burn the same amount no matter what, no matter if you're using that power or not. But yeah, we don't need the power. That's why I left them off. But now we're hitting a point where we can't produce plastic and rubber because we're full of fuel, because we can't turn that heavy oil into fuel. So, I was gonna go up there, and then I'm like, oh, I can just enter from this side. I like this little park that's sitting here. It's just in the way. It's actually pretty cool. It's a nice little place. Okay, so here we are at the fuel gens. Yeah, I think we're full of fuel down here too. I'm gonna. I won't check the fuel reserves actually. I need to get up there so I can turn all these on easily enough. Anyway, let me get these painted again. Yeah, here we go. So these fuel generators, half of them are off, which is why we're not burning the fuel. We're not burning as much fuel. Yeah, see, they still burn at 30 a minute, even if the power's not being used. As you can clearly see, we're not even close to using that kind of power, but we are there. Anyway. But we're going to be upping this. At 10,000, over 10,000 megawatts so far. 11,252 megawatts production. We're not even using, we're using less than a quarter of that. And most of it's off, It's quite crazy. But yeah, we do need to burn, the fuel. So we're going to turn all that on. Quite insane. And I love it too, because I had planned for expansion on this facility. I had planned for the expansion of more up there, but I just we never got to it, and I don't think we're going to, because by the time I'm using the kind of power that these are going to be outputting, by the time I get close to those kind of numbers, we're going to be in nuclear power anyway. So I'm just waiting for the autosave and freeze. Oh, I'm a little early on that one. Like I said, we're not going to get much done today, especially because doing all the explanations and then doing the tour of what I did over the weekend. I'm going to continue to try and strictly reserve off-camera stuff, unless it needs to be done right now, but off-camera stuff to the weekends, because otherwise I'm just going to continue to experience a lot of burnout. And not burnout game-wise, but burnout as in burnout as in physical and mental. It's been a real rough couple of weeks lately. But yeah, I try not to linger on that kind of stuff too long because that's nobody wants to hear your life story. That's what I think of when I'm talking about this kind of stuff. I usually will go, man, nobody wants to hear that. Because everybody's got their own problems, their own stuff that they'll deal with on a daily basis, and you complaining is just going to tick people off, that kind of stuff. So, I know I used to get into it a lot. I'm trying to work on that as well as a person, because, like I said, nobody wants to hear that. Everybody's got their own stuff to deal with. So, like I said, I think it's 7. Yeah, 7. Okay. We'll do the splitter test. 6, 7. Yeah, because 8 puts. Okay, so it's 7. Just had to make sure. We need to do conveyor mergers though. Let's get these belts built exactly. Yeah, so the way I've been designing these is doing designing the inputs and outputs on every single floor. Just the inputs and outputs when it goes outside the building, not the inputs and outputs of the machines themselves, but the inputs and outputs when it goes out the building, or comes in from outside, basically. So, 7. Okay, yeah, these are correct. I was like, man, they don't look right. Oh, that input's going to be a little bit weird. I didn't realize that was so close to the... Oh, that's right, because I was going to do 6 instead. I remember. Sorry, that was a few days ago. I forgot already. Yeah, so... Yeah, we're going to do 6 in order to go underneath those inputs. I put those inputs there, and I completely forgot that I was going to do that. Okay. That is alright, though. We will get it done. This is going to turn on a lot of factories. I actually want to see that input, so we're going to look at this poll. So we're sitting around the at the max like 2,900, maybe 3,000. I'm going to put this there. And then that. And then that. Put those together. I did put those merges on the right side, right? Yeah, okay. Now let's see the power increase. Not so bad yet. There it is. Oh no, a little bit of fall. 3,600. Yeah, it's because rods and screws are all being turned on now. Everything's being turned on for that. Oh, I also got to get done the rod belt. The rod belt needs to be changed up a little bit, if I remember right. Yeah, and I kind of just been going for wall supports instead of stacked belts. Yeah, there we go. Just because of the fact of taking up space. I don't want to take up that much space. Most of these factories aren't going to be suitable for factory workers and such. It is on the middle. No. Yes. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Just had to make sure. Alright. And then this one's gonna go towards these mergers. So we're going to merge each floor um, together, and then we're going to merge those floors to each other. Now we might put the outputs outside of the building themselves. I can't believe we're so far into this already. This episode's been nothing but nothing. Uh, Apologies for that. Hopefully next episode will be much, much better. Um, and since I'm recording late, I have to do these episodes back to back. So, and I've been trying. Don't worry. I'm not trying to be lazy or nothing uh, for these episodes. But yeah, it's gonna be rough for a little while longer. But I gotta hold on there. I do got to hold myself together as much as I can because otherwise it's going to be real bad if I don't. I wonder, what if we do a slightly different merging process? Um, so instead of merging this way, doing a circle, what if we take these two, merge them together, these two merge them together, then merge them in the middle, and then just go up the middle and merge every single floor? Because that'll be, how much will that be? 4, 8, 12, 16. 16 times 5, I believe it is. Which is 80 per minute. Okay, so that belt can do 80 per minute. And then we're going to split it. And we're going to bring it over and then back down through every single floor. Bring it back down on the outside, maybe? No, because we want to split it in here to go to both rotors or to go to both smart plating and rotors. Or no, we've already got it split there. I mean, we might as well take advantage of that because it's a little bit different. Yeah, we might as well take advantage of that and just leave this output like it is. I mean, this output, yeah, because it's already well established pretty much. I'd have to move a decent fair amount if I want it differently. We do need a splitter between these though. It does need to split both ways here in order to do that. Because I can't do, because the rotors need to come all the way down. Like I said, they're already set up, so we might as well just take advantage. Yeah. Okay. So we'll do a splitter between these two. If it's not set up there already. So we'll merge them on the second floor is what it's saying. Wait, how are we gonna merge? How are we gonna merge that all together? That's what I'm trying to think. Because we gotta merge them on. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Maybe we merge them on the first floor, and then we just go straight across with this. Like we go not at this level, but we go one level above. We merge everything together from the top floor down to the first floor, go across, and then up to the second floor. Just a little hop back up. That way we don't have a bunch coming down, like going up and then back down. That's a lot of extra that we don't need. That makes sense. Okay, we'll do that then. So these mergers are going the wrong way. Oh, autosave lag, of course. This episode's been a lot of talking, and I do not like that. But it had to be done. I'm sure a lot of people don't appreciate that either, but it had to be done. So, just saying. It had to be done, because if it wasn't done, people would be wondering what the hell is going on, how things are going, things like that. Was it 7? Yeah, it was 7. Or no, 6. Yeah, 6. Dude, it's just now you know where my brain's at. Oof. Okay. Alrighty then. So yeah, we gotta reverse. I'll leave the supports there. This support's got to get moved though. So how are we gonna merge everything down to this floor? Because the merger's got to go left. So this floor is going to be merged. So we got to merge these two belts. Yeah, how is that all going to work? That's going to be interesting. Because these have got to merge together first. And then we got to merge each individual floor, just like this. And then we got to merge those, each individual floor to itself on each side. And then we got to merge and come downwards towards this floor. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this, obviously. Then we're going to do a merger. I want to place the merger inside, obviously. It's this way. Yeah, each one of these buildings is going to be designed not completely the same. I do want to change it up a little bit so we have a little bit of variety. But also I want to keep everything functional too. I don't want it doesn't need to be unnecessarily complicated, is what I'm saying. Okay. So those are going to be merged there. So now this floor is now merged like it should be. We do need conveyor lifts and stuff like that. So there. There. We're going to be turning on a lot of machines here. And whatnot. So yeah, that's basically how that's going to go. And I know we're running over time here. Nothing really much I can do about that, per se. Yeah, but like I said, each one of these floors has its own screws. So you don't have to worry about floors splitting into floors. We need 400 screws per minute, and each one of these has 400 screws. I'm actually going to turn these off by giving them rotors, because I need to get rid of some rotors. Definitely, because I've been messing around with rotors a lot. I had a lot of extra rotors on hand. So, there we go. That'll kind of redo my inventory a bit. That is a lot, though. There's a lot to do. A lot to be done. But yeah, I kind of want the electricity to come in right below, or right above that, maybe. So the power, we do a Mark II. Oh, I don't have any quick wire. That's right, I went and got quick wire in my truck here. I just never brought it, or never put it back in there, or put it in my inventory anyway. Ugh. Okay. Then I'm going to put a Mark II in between each one of these machines. Or in between these machines. I think that's where it needs to be, right? Because it needs to be... Yeah, it can go there. That's actually fine. So then we're going to remove the power between these. Let's see, where's the power nodes? Oh, so that won't... that's not going to work there. So right there. Okay. So basically what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have this. This pole has to stay. And the pole I just removed, we're going to remove this. This pole has to stay. Okay, just need to get a baseline for what we're working with here. Whoa, everything just turned red. So we're going to pull that to here. Or should we pull it down first? Maybe we should pull it down first. Go to about there. And then to there. So it's a little low, actually. So we can actually do that. There you go. Get rid of this. Grab that, to there. I don't want it, it doesn't have to be perfectly level, but it can be level. Yeah, there we go. Go there, then that can go there, then that can go there. So basically the power poles, oh whoops, the power pole's in the wrong spot. It should be here actually. Part of the machine, or not part of the machine. Next to the machine. Okay. Yeah, next to the machine. Next to the machine. Yeah, that actually, it's a little cleaner-ish. Something like that. Okay. Then instead of running it there, we actually need to run light poles down this way. How's the power for this one? Can be the same, I suppose. Yeah. So now that we also have quick wire, we can do this too. Yeah, these ones need to be designed a little bit differently. Yeah, I designed this slope kind of stupidly, but everything's designed around it now. I can't really change it. So. Did I put the power pole at the same height on any others? Or was it just, that's the way it is? Yeah, that's the way it is. And that's actually what started the whole power pole inside of the light type deal. It's actually what kind of started it. Oh, whoops. What am I doing? That's actually wrong. Okay, and then we connect to a little bit of autosave lag. That's actually what started the power transfer between buildings across the street with this whole power setup. It's actually what started it. Okay, are these in the same spot for everything else too? Yeah. Now, these lights are going to be the bane of my existence soon. I can feel it. Yeah. And that's what I was doing there. That's what started it because then I can have a pole all the way to the ground without the lights being at different levels. So then we transferred. How did I transfer? Oh, the transfer of the power was in between. I see. Okay, so that's why it was like that. Okay, so we'll have to, looks like just pull power off of this connector here. Then it go directly to the middle, right? Now it's above the middle. What? Yeah, it was above. Weird. I didn't expect that. Okay. It may, whatever. It somewhat makes sense, but somewhat doesn't. Right, so this one, so it goes here instead. Okay. And then we'll do that. And that will give everything power. Yep, everything has power in here again. Okay. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and leave it there. And like I said, next episode is probably going to be a bit better than this one. We're probably going to get more done. This one was just kind of the precursor to explaining what's going on, to let you guys in on the loop of how things are going for me and whatnot, and why things are the way they are currently. So yeah, but anyway, like I said, that is probably going to be it for this episode of, or that is going to be it, not probably. That is going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory. So at any rate, I really do hope you guys did enjoy it to any extent, hopefully, to any extent. But yeah, hopefully you did enjoy, and until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.